Okay, welcome to 8.2, 8.3 pre-reading. Hey, let's talk about adverbs. Okay, on the screen here we have the Olympic motto, Citius Altius Fortius, which means, of course, faster, higher, and stronger. Now notice, these are actually all comparative. We'll even write that word up here for you. Comparative adverbs. What that means is that you are probably used to seeing normal adverbs like keto. Let's try this. Keto, alte, and fortiter, which of course means quickly, high, and strongly, but since this is the Olympics, it's not enough to just use the positive form. Instead, we're going to make these adverbs comparative, and to show that they are comparative adverbs, they're going to have the ius ending. Now, Caesar does not talk about the Olympics, but he does talk about this word, vacilius. So we know this is a comparative adverb. Notice we've got the ius, and it comes from the adverb vacile, which means easily. So vacilius means more easily because it's comparative. Hey, did you remember that there's more than one kind of ablative absolute? Well, first let's talk about the normal kind. The kind that you're most used to looks something like this. Caesare prohibente. Okay, so we have here an ablative noun, Caesar, and an ablative participle, prohibente. And if we were going to use a literal translation, we would say with noun participle, which for this instance would be with Caesar prohibiting, with Caesar saying no way. So that's a normal ablative absolute where you've got a noun and a participle. But we've also seen this kind of an ablative absolute, like this, Caesare consule, when Caesar was the consul. So in this instance, we still have our noun in the ablative case, but instead of a participle, we have another noun, when Caesar was consul. So since we can do that, we can also look at our last kind of ablative absolute where we would still have a noun, Caesare, but instead of a participle or another noun, we could use an adjective. With Caesar being unwilling, when Caesar was unwilling. So we have another ablative absolute there. So we've got the first one is a noun and a participle. The second one is a noun and a noun. And the third one is a noun and an adjective. So you're probably going to run into, hint, hint, an ablative absolute with a noun and an adjective in this chapter. Okay, this wouldn't be Caesar unless we talked some more about indirect statements. Let's take a peek at this sentence. Caesar dicit, se posse iter dare. Okay, we know we have an indirect statement because A, the word indirect statements is written at the top of this, but also because we have a kissing verb plus an accusative infinitive construction right here. So let's see what this says. Caesar says that he is able to give a route. Pretty simple and straightforward. The only thing that might be tricky is that posse takes a complementary infinitive, but you can handle that. But what happens if Caesar says that he can't give a route? That is, what if we want, instead of saying he can do something, we want to say that he can't do something? What if we want to make it negative? How do we say negative indirect statements? Well, we would swap out the word dicit for negat, which means to deny. So the literal translation of this is Caesar denies that he is able to give a route. So to deny is really the same thing as saying not. Another translation is Caesar says that he is not able to give a route. So if you want to talk about a negative statement, an indirect statement, you have to switch the main verb to negat. We don't use dicit, we switch it to negat.